assalamu alaikum to everybody who's out there and are tuned into PTV World. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a fine morning over here in Islamabad. It's getting a little cold over here. I will be honest with you guys, but thank you very much for tuning into PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning. Alongside me, I have the very fantastic, superb, talented, and the very emotional Miss Shiza Hashmi, and I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan. I hope people out there in 46 different countries where our transmission's going and people all over the world are doing absolutely perfect, superb, fine, fantastic, and they're ready to kickstart their day with us only if it's daytime. If it's nighttime, if you're about to go to bed, please make sure that you watch the show and then go to bed. You will definitely have a good sleep. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you so much for asking.
There's something on your mind, I can tell you.
There's so many things on my mind.
Okay.
But just this morning when I was coming to work, and of course, I mean, we're always thinking or sort of processing what we're going to say and do. And I was thinking, you know, just to make it a little unusual and just to make you feel happy as well, I'm going to do the intro today.
Okay.
And I sort of, you know, thought of all the words I'm going to use for you. But well, it didn't go that way, so maybe I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
All right.
But yes, I like when things actually go naturally or flow naturally as well. This is the beauty of live television, to be honest. And
Exactly.
I enjoy the beauty of it.
Yeah, but other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think a lot of people are under the weather, so please make sure to look after. I think it was my mistake. So earlier, I think 5 or 10 days ago, I was already suffering from fever.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, everything got better. You know, even the flu got better. But then all of a sudden, I don't know, you know, because I wear lesser clothes while sleeping at night. So I really didn't kind of consider how cold it's going to be. So initially, early in the morning when I woke up, you know, I felt like as if there's a tap open in my nose as well. And the only thing I could do was... So please make sure that you look after, that you drink actually warm water. Please make sure that you do not drink cold water as well. Avoid ice creams, avoid fizzy drinks. They're too cold. I mean, if they're not cold, you know, you can certainly have them. But even the room temperature these days feel cold.
Yes,
because earlier today,
absolutely.
I went to my water dispenser. I have this habit of drinking 2 or 3 glasses of water early in the morning, the moment I wake up. And as soon as I took a sip, I was like, why is it this cold? And then I realized that, hey, you know what, it's 8 degrees outside. So probably please make sure that you just warm it up for 20 seconds in your oven so that you stay perfect. Because the kind of work I have in a few days, I really cannot mess up my throat. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm just being cautious about it. Are you looking after yourself or your family because of the weather?
Definitely, I think we have to as well. It's sort of a demand more than it is a need to. I mean, of course, we're talking about
Who's
our loved
demanding
ones.
that from you?
No, I mean, we're talking about our loved ones. We
Yeah,
have to
obviously.
sort of, right?
Good cover.
The thing is, Shahzad, the only thing I'm enjoying about this weather particularly is, so, you know how you're so busy with all the chores and whatnot, there are times, ladies and gentlemen, and I think people who are in the kitchen mostly, ladies or gentlemen, will sort of relate to me. You forget to put the food in the fridge even after you've made it.
And that's cool.
Yeah, it's luckily, thank God for the weather. I mean, I've been doing it for the past week. I've been so busy. I literally make food, I serve it, and I forget to put it in the fridge. And thank God the weather is so friendly. It's not going bad. So by the time I realize or by the time I remember I forgot to put it, it's still safe.
Wow, that's
so
wonderful.
Well, thank God.
Because something
but
similar.
you know, sometimes actually a lot to do with the weather as well. I mean, it does get bad, especially with all the microbes and whatnot going on too.
Yeah, but before we jump onto that, I just actually had an incident to share.
Okay.
Where you said that you actually forget putting your food into the fridge or
I
to the
do.
freezer as well. So just the other day, you know, probably it was 10:30 at night, and my father was like, hey, can you get me that basket of grapes from the fridge? I was like, sure, why not? And I was like, you can take some. So I was like, you take some and I'll take the basket.
Okay.
So I went upstairs, you know, kept on eating as much as I wanted, shukr, alhamdulillah. And then all of a sudden, because I was in such a cozy blanket of mine, I was like, no, who's going to go back and put the basket actually in the fridge? I was like,
It
you know what,
happens.
it's cold weather, I can probably get away with this. And I did, you know, so just early in the morning when I woke up, I rushed down to the kitchen and I was like, before anyone notices, I'm going to put the basket back in the fridge. And that's something I did.
And they didn't go bad as well because
No,
of the weather.
not at all.
Brilliant,
They
brilliant.
didn't even turn a little black as well. You know, they were perfect.
Perfect. But speaking of perfect things, well, here's the thing. It's a good news for not only one particular person, but for the entire country as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a premier who, first of all, happens to be a sportsman before, you know, before
Obviously.
anything else. And now he's a leader, mashallah, and I feel like all the qualities he has as a sportsman, first of all, and now as a politician, as a leader, they are just unparalleled and unmatched. And someone actually realized all his qualities in all his spheres of life.
Exactly.
And he has been actually awarded, our premier, Imran Khan Sahab, has been awarded with a very prestigious award.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, talking about this award, I think that it is in recognition to kind of make sure that we promote sports as well. And if you, to be very honest, I think Imran Khan will get the International Sports Personality Award in appreciation of his efforts in turning Pakistan into one of the world's leading cricketing nations.
Yes.
He was captain of the Pakistan team that emerged victorious in 1992 Cricket World Cup, defeating England in the final. Prime Minister Imran Khan has been invited to receive his award at the awards ceremony to be held at Expo 2020 Dubai on January 9th. Wow. I think I'm just super proud of my Prime Minister.
Of course.
And, you know, going into further detail as well, the prestigious award is named as Rashid Al Maktoum Creative Sports Award, and that is because of the fact that Prime Minister has contributed so much to the sports fraternity as well. So congratulations, Premier, and you've always aced in whatever you've kind of took on as a mission. So our best wishes for everybody who's out there, for people who are aspiring athletes and sportsmen as well.
Right, congratulations to the entire country as well. Of course, we're all really, really proud of you, Imran Khan Saab. And well, moving on, now Shahzad, if you may allow, I want to come back to the microbe story as well.
Always.
Thank you.
Because
I actually have a lot of stories, and
go
it's
ahead,
really unfortunate because now here's the thing, some minor, very minor things actually can contribute to something so huge or huge change in your life that we can't really put a finger on when or what happened. So to cut it short as well, I have a niece who shifted places, like she's shifted from one city to another to now another and whatnot. And
Rich
she's
people, you know.
Not really. Anyway, so she's about 2 years now. And for quite some, ever since she was born, let's say, or 1.5 years now, she has some skin issues. And because of the changes and because of the weather and because of dust, whatnot, Shahzad, she was scratching her skin for itching. And she sort of somehow, with her nails and fingertips, injected, I don't know, bacteria and whatnot in her skin, and now she is in medical emergency just because of some dirt particles that entered her skin for we don't know how. And oh my God, first of all, I want you all to please pray for her. She's so tiny, I can't look, you know, I didn't go to see her, I can't look at her. But of course, we're praying. I want to talk about this. This is just one condition of what may happen if we don't know or if we don't see what kind of contaminated things we're taking into. And then the worst part, what kind of medication to go to, because unfortunately different quacks had been telling her what medicines to use, and she's so small that the medicines reacted to her.
Exactly, and thank you very much, Shiza, for pointing out towards this as well, because from the 18th until the 24th, which happens to be today, ladies and gentlemen, there's an antimicrobial week, which is being out there as well, and the theme this year is more awareness so that we can spread the, we can stop the resistance as well. But ladies and gentlemen, you know, over here in Pakistan, it's a normal practice that God forbid if anything goes wrong, all of a sudden, हाँ भाई क्या करना है, antibiotics खा लो, you know, so people start taking antibiotics, and that to 600 mg or probably 1 gram, and I don't know what the calculation might be. The doctors over here will definitely let us know. But we do have this very normal culture over here that, oh, something's bad, you know, give them the antibiotics, or something's bad, give him or her the medicine. And you know, people have their fridge and refrigerators filled up not with food, but rather medicines as well. And people, everybody wants to be a doctor. But now the question over here is, obviously we are kind of talking about how to stop the overuse of or abuse of antibiotics. But before we kind of do that, God forbid, Shiza, there's one more thing as well. And that is that when we talk about this is such a sensitive topic that God forbid if somebody needed antibiotics at that point of time, and what if they didn't take it just because of the fact that there was this so much awareness which people really need to have. What if, God forbid, their case got worsened? I think.
Are you saying there's a right time?
There's a right time to actually take antibiotics. You need to go to the doctor. If the doctor prescribes them to you, only then have it. Do not have it by your own self. Oh, मैंने 5 दिन का course कर लिया भाई. You know, hold on, you know, step onto the break as well and listen to the experts, because we have them over here in the studio with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody from the AI as well. She happens to be country head Fleming Fund. She is Dr. Aisha Rashid. Hello ma'am, assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Walaikum salam. It's a lovely morning and I'm actually quite well.
Thank you very much, because you were looking at us and you said it's a lovely morning, you know.
It is a lovely morning when I see you two over here.
Thank you very much. And you know, it's likewise and with some wish as well. But thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. This is for the very first time that we're actually dedicating a segment towards something which we call an antimicrobial week. We are weak on the understanding part as well. So we want you to make us understand. Our audiences out there in 46 different countries. Why do you think this is important? What's happening? What's wrong? What's not? What to do? What not to do? Please go ahead.
So I'm just going to start a little bit from the background. So when Sir Alexander Fleming, the first person who discovered penicillin, then it gave rise to a lot of, revolution in medical care.
Yep.
Yes.
Surgeries were possible because you had antibiotic cover. Complicated illnesses were treated because you had antibiotics. But because of those, people started using antibiotics for everything. And now as we use antibiotics for everything and we kind of overuse them, they fail to act effectively because the bugs obviously are evolving as well.
Yeah.
The bacteria, the bugs, the viruses, they're all evolving. They become resistant. They develop this innate resistance, and it happens in all natural human beings. We are exposed to a difficulty and we become resistant to that difficulty. We, grow beyond that. So that happens to the bugs. And the more we misuse the drugs, the more resistant they become. And in the last few years, not many new drugs have come on the market in terms of new mechanisms of effectiveness.
True.
You get the same molecule under a different name with slightly a different thing. So the, action is the same. So, and that's why if no new drugs are coming in and old drugs are becoming ineffective, then what's the solution? Normal surgeries will become
Difficult.
You won't be able to do normal surgeries. The UK government estimated that by 2050, almost 20 million people annually could die from, resistant infections.
Oh my God.
I mean, which is why,
That's
I'm
insane.
sorry, but I'm going to stop you over here. And it's because of the fact that, the pandemic broke out in 2019 by 2020. And, we had the vaccines as well. So there were a lot of people working on it because, it was an imminent threat. Now, what I want to ask you is, what's so different about, I'm going to ask it on a lighter note, because it's a morning show. So imagine all our childhood years, Ammi has been pakao-frying gobi, dal, aloo and all of that, which kids might not have loved. The body never showed any resistance to any of this vegetable which was cooked by my mom. How come the body is actually developing this resistance, and that too against a medicine which you might only use twice or thrice a year?
So it's not the body that develops the resistance.
Okay.
it's the germ that develops the resistance.
It gets stronger and the body
it's
can't
like your
So there's
knees.
no jam against aloo gobi. And
Yes, there's no germ again.
Not inside
The
the
only
body.
germ is the child.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's like your knees. She got infection, she got the bugs in her skin,
Right.
got infected, and now those can become resistant to normal drugs. If they exist
such a
in the
young age,
environment. No, but it's not the human that develops it. See, so once one person uses medicines a lot, and that's why it's so important. That's why UK government is investing so much in other countries, is
Right.
because if resistance develops in these countries, those bugs can travel to someone else who's never used antibiotics.
Okay.
So it's
okay,
how you
makes sense.
acquire infection. It's like COVID. If you have one person has COVID, then the virus travels to another person. And if that COVID is ineffective against certain things, then the resistance will travel to the other person as well. So it endangers his life. So my overuse of antibiotics can actually endanger someone else because my bugs can go to someone
How
else.
can the resistance travel? It should be the bug traveling from one person to another, but how can the resistance?
So the resistance can travel but via the bug through our food, our environment, our personal contact. You have someone with the flu, with a resistant virus, he get close to another, the virus travels, and the other person gets the resistant flu, even though they haven't had any antibiotics previously. That's how you had this huge epidemic of highly resistant typhoid in Hyderabad in Pakistan, against which only two or three drugs were effective.
All right. So, well, I was going to ask something else, but now it makes me think because I remember reading articles about it. When it was last year, there was sort of a boom in AIDS, HIV cases, especially in children and younger ones, under the age of 5 too. Does that have, because some of the accounts said that did have something to do with, medical attention, medical care that was not really attentive to those segments of the society?
Our expectation is the HIV and other infections like these, when you have this rapid epidemic, is usually because infection control mechanisms haven't been contained. So clean water, hygiene, use of safe syringes, mostly it's use of safe syringes. Unsafe, the same syringe is applied to someone else. So anyone, the infection comes with the same syringe and you kind of pop it into anyone that is being pierced by that syringe. Also, the medical equipment that's used, such as dentist tools, dialysis machines, they use the same thing. So if one machine is infected, anyone who has a dialysis from that machine or anyone who uses that tool will become infected. And you have to contain it through cleaning them, through sterilizing them. So our medical inattentiveness is through lack of sterilization for this. And that also can give rise to resistant bugs, because in hospitals they use a lot of medicine, so you're likely to find a lot of resistant bugs there. They've been exposed to so many medicines, and if your theaters and your wards are not sterilized or cleaned very well, any patient who goes in there can get that infection.
And
So you end up with more infections in
And
the
in
hospitals.
addition to that, I actually have a story to share as well for everybody who's out there, and that is that, so I happen to know a lot of people who are actually studying in all these medicine schools as well.
Okay.
So, just very recently I was in conversation with a boy, we happen to be friends together as well and whatnot. So I was like, when you go, and it's your final year now, so do you sterilize after every patient who actually kind of comes to you? Do you sterilize your tools once again? So he's like, nah, man, what are you talking about? So, we just open them up early in the morning and that's it. And for anybody and everybody who's going to come in, we're just going to use the same tools. And I was like, this is so
wrong.
I hope it's not true.
But at the same time, obviously we cannot blame all of those students who are out there. I think the hospitals need to come up with such professional SOPs where, such a thing does not really happen.
Absolutely.
And I'm talking about Islamabad. So, and I want everybody to take this shock and absorb it, that it might have happened to me, it might have happened to you, and if we are safe, thanks to Allah Almighty that we've been saved as well. But this is what's happening.
Yes, and that's how you end up with hepatitis and some of the other ones.
Unfortunately. And Shahzad, you're absolutely right, and thank you actually for raising the point and sort of delivering a message as well. I want to take this further, and all of you out there who might be going to hospitals first of all, and then even to beauty parlors or salons for that matter. I want you to keep it in your mind. Because it's happening lately, and I noticed one with my own, the place that I go to. They have started on their own, and I forgot. No, Shahzad. They have started giving out the equipment that they use for my manicure or pedicure to me, and I can take it home. It's disposable, whatnot. And I, on my individual level, did not remember asking them for it. It was my fault as well, but they did it, which made me, to be honest, feel clean or hygienic or sort of safe as well, which is again
and then saving the cost, you can use the same material next time as well.
No, I throw it immediately when I go back home.
So why don't they throw it?
Well,
that's a question.
They can, of course. But the
okay.
thing is, Dr. Aisha, with such responsibility, I was happy with the place that I was using.
Wonderful.
But now coming to the medical practitioners, it does not always happen with this kind of, and again, their contracts with pharmaceuticals. I remember we have been trained in such a way that flagell, sorry to name it, but it's so common at our house that the moment someone's stomach goes upset, all of us are like, flagell le lo. And then later on we realize it's antibiotic and oh my God, there's a whole course. So where do you think the responsibility lies?
And so that's the theme of this World Antibiotic Awareness Week, Antimicrobial. Spread awareness that it is not safe to take too many medicines. And the responsibility rests with both the practitioners, the medical practitioners, as well as the general public. General public like to get cure immediately. So they'll say, "Bas, Doctor Saab, I just need a medicine. Give me the good one. Give me the good one. Give me the injection."
Sorry to say, but
and the practitioner says, "Well, I'm earning from this one. If I turn him away and say it's viral, aap 4 din ye soup piyein ya ye karein, wo dobara mere paas nahi aayega, and he will not come.
That's true.
So I lose my income." So that's why they overprescribe medicine. They give you this whole list of antibiotics.
Thank you for being honest. Let me tell you over here that we've asked this question from so many people, and Shiza's got this talent that she will ask a question which she wants an answer for in a way where the other person would actually feel comfortable. But let me be very honest over here that you're actually the first person in all of these 9 years that we've been doing this show who actually spoke about it, and that too upfront as well. Thank you very much for saying that.
Welcome.
But ma'am, in addition to that, there's one more thing, and that is I think that the way she actually spoke about flagell these days, Arinac is in very common popular use, and then Castine, so antihistamines as well, and people do that, so other than talking about antibiotics, do you think that we really need to talk in general and with a very holistic approach that the use of medicine is not actually going to help you, rather it's going to worsen your health over the period of life? Now let's talk about, do we have, or do you think that Fleming Fund is working in the direction of gathering the data that how much of antibiotics are being consumed, and why do you think that people are getting more sicker and sicker, and why there is more resistance? Let's talk about that
That's
as
a
well.
very good question.
We absolutely are. We've done a lot of data collection in partnership with the government of Pakistan, because this is Pakistan, it's government's ownership over here.
Right.
So we've collected a lot of data on how many antibiotics are used, and we focus on antimicrobial, so there's a whole list of drugs. But we focused on how much antibiotics were sold in the market in 2019, before the pandemic started, in 2020, after the pandemic started, and during the pandemic, and then we'll be doing the same for 2021 once this year ends. So we'll be able to see that during the pandemic, which antibiotics actually went up in use, which
But
went down.
generally speaking, what does the graph say? Did it
It actually did go up. So Azomax was extensively used.
Yeah.
And Azomax is a critical drug
You had
for.
to use it while you were, while I was actually.
But it was
from
not
COVID.
necessary.
I had to.
It wasn't?
It wasn't
Okay.
entirely necessary for
Even
everyone.
while we were suffering from COVID, because I had
Exactly.
to use it.
So I mean, it's an irrational prescription that everyone got, everyone ate it, but whether it was needed wasn't ever entirely, within the course of events.
All right. So
Okay,
very
then-
quickly,
yeah.
towards the end, there's one more thing then. Okay, since we're talking about, antimicrobial week, and it's great that we're finally talking about it. Even the use of steroids went up during the pandemic,
Oh my God,
maybe
yes.
dexamethasone as well. So are you working towards that as well, that how dangerous it can be for people?
And
So-
just to, so sorry, Dr. Aisha, I'm cutting you. I want you to make this your closing note as well. And the situation I told from my niece, it was because of steroids, after the skin, her organs are now compromised because of excessive steroids. Imagine.
So our message is mostly of antibiotics, but the message should be broader. We shouldn't try and use medicines that we don't know much about. We should only go to a person who's authorized to prescribe medicines and take medicines
And
after
is
they've
honest at
okayed
heart
it.
as well.
And also ask him, is it really necessary? So it's our right as patients to ask our doctors, Dr. Saab, is this really necessary?
Yeah.
I mean, do I really need it? I don't want to take too many drugs. Just saying that one word will be good to the doctors and also push them back. Patients also don't want to take too many drugs and feel bad. So you have a right to question.
Of course.
And you must question and you must ask. I mean, this whole 10 list, it's also expensive on the pocket.
Yeah.
So if you reduce the number of drugs, if you reduce the expensive drugs, it'll be cheaper for patients to get treated.
And
That's
what
also
would you
a
say
side
about
effect.
the patients like me who don't take drugs even after being prescribed? I have this thing, man. So,
So
I
you
remember
cannot
going
push
to
the doctor, but you're like, okay, I'll probably just hold
what?
myself.
I'm like, I'm going to pay you for the consultation, but I won't take what you're giving me. No, that's on a lighter note. But I do remember going to a gastroenterologist and him prescribing me all these antidepressants and anti-stress medicines and me not taking them because I'm so anti those medicines. What happens then?
So you just tell your practitioner, I really don't want to take medicines. Don't prescribe me medicines. Can't you give me something else? What else
Give
can
me
you treat me with?
negativity.
Yeah, what else can you treat me with?
Right.
Sometimes they are necessary, and he will then explain to you why they're necessary, and then you'll say, okay, fine, I'll take it for this absolute minimum of time that's required.
Yeah.
So you get educated why you need them as well.
And you will understand the logic behind it.
Yes.
So if there's going to be a reason for you to take it, I think
Yes.
the doctor will be very happy.
And that's
to tell
called
you.
rational prescription.
Exactly.
For sure.
So thank you very
Thank
much,
you
Dr.
so
Aisha,
much.
for
You're
being with
welcome.
us. Lovely to
Thank
be in
you so much.
conversation with you. Thank you very much for raising awareness. For everyone who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you a very simple solution, and that is that, for all of these SOPs which are in place even during the time of pandemic. I mean, if you go back in time, how our grandfathers really used to kind of avoid us eating ice cream when we were kids, or probably not going outside, that too at night time as well when it was very cold, staying inside as well. I think all of these were the standard operating procedures of our Buzurgan, and I think everybody needs to kind of follow them, because you fall sick very rarely, work out, that's important. But what I have noticed in my life is that, for example, if I go to a barber's place or any other place where I think that, my health can be compromised, I would certainly ask them that, hey, you know what, you really need to clean the blade, you need to clean the blade holder, please clean the chair, use everything which is out there, so that you can really be in a very hygienic environment, and it's your responsibility. The barber, he's on a drill, he's going to be in there as well. I mean, if he does it, it's fine. If he does not, it's fine as well. There are people who will ask, there are people who will not ask. It's your responsibility to ask and check. so that you don't fall ill, because we do not want you to fall ill. We want each and everybody out there to be healthy, even though that these days I cannot stay healthy, but it's perfectly all right. I've been following all those SOPs as well. There's a condition which I go through as well, so I kind of have to go beyond and kind of come back as well.
We really hope and pray, Shazad, that you do get
Thank you
well
very
soon,
much.
inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're headed out to a very short break because I feel like Shazad needs a green tea for that matter.
I need to vote for you today, Shazad.
Okay, so when we come back, I think we have to talk about something really important that includes not just 9 million Pakistanis, but the entire population. So stay tuned to find out. Good morning.
Good morning.
Magla Hills, the heaven of Islamabad, the abode of God, a place where you can explore your soul and meet power of natural elegance of mountains. Spread over an area of 12,605 hectares, the Magla Range, the foothills of Himalayas, are youngest hills with an age of 5,000 years old. Magla Hills are home to around 600 plant species, 250 bird varieties, 38 mammals, and 13 species of reptiles.
Welcome back to World This Morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is an absolutely perfect and pleasant day over here in Islamabad, and I hope everywhere else in the world as well.
True.
With me, I have the very, especially early in the morning, energetic Shahzad Khan, who just, sort of spews his energy, and it's so contagious, everyone catches on to it as well.
Wow, the vocabulary. Wow.
I know, right? Okay, so we need to talk about something, Shahzad. Pakistanis that are not living in Pakistan. So here's the thing, of course, for so many years that I've been doing this show, we have been having segments about their contributions in one way or another, how they sort of contribute, of course, through remittances and whatnot. And now the government has created such an ease for them that, Roshan bank account and
Digital
whatnot.
accounts,
So digital accounts, yes, just living abroad, they can actually do anything a Pakistani can do living in Pakistan.
Yeah.
But recently, there's been an absolutely brilliant development. You want to share with us?
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, now, I think in days to come, inshallah, so roughly, approximately, there's 9 million to 10 million people living outside Pakistan in more than 200 countries.
Yes.
And they kind of sent $29.4 billion this year in remittances as well, fiscally 2021 as well. So imagine that for all of those people who are spending or making sure that the economy of their own country and motherland is going to strengthen, they certainly haven't had a right to vote for more than 74 years. And I think that today is the day when we are going to celebrate and enjoy, because what the PTI government has achieved, nobody has achieved it by far. And even though that, in the previous years we have had two people within the government or prime ministers, I'm going to say it as well, who actually had dual nationalities as well. And imagine that they certainly never talked about people living abroad who actually should have the right to vote as well. Whether they should have the right to vote or not is something which we are not going to discuss. I think what we're going to discuss is whether
the repercussions,
the repercussions of it, if there are going to be any, or probably the positive side of it, because we really need to maintain a balance, being host or journalists or anchor persons as well.
Of course.
Because imagine the first notion which comes to anybody's and everybody's head is that, hey, you know what, they haven't lived away in Pakistan, might not know about their union council or their National Assembly constituency as well, or do not know what's happening on the grassroots level. So imagine for a person who's so detached, just by looking at a campaign, a political campaign, or for any political member or probably person who actually wants to get elected as well, do you think that they will be doing justice with a choice of their own? Because 9 million or 10 million people, ladies and gentlemen, is a larger number. But do you think it's going to have a negative impact or a positive impact is something we will be talking about. So without any further ado, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by people who come all the way or hail from Pakistan but come all the way from United States of America
and I feel like
as well.
It's because of their efforts and contributions that this day has happened. Overseas Pakistanis have this right.
Alhamdulillah. So ladies and gentlemen, he actually happens to be an American businessman, works with gas and energy sector. Yeah, you got my point. He's the chief organizer of Pakistan Overseas Forum. He is Mr. Irshad Ahmed Cheema Sahab. Hello sir, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Good morning, alaikum assalam, and glad to be here.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. And it's a lot of hard work which has gone down in the line as well. More than 70 years of hard work, consistency, persistence, resilience, that finally we actually come together on this day to kind of talk about it as well. So congratulations to you and to your entire team.
Thank you. And my salam to your viewers. It's always good to be back and where roots started.
Sir, मैं इंशाल्लाह प्रोग्राम के बाद जफ्फी भी देंगा इंशाल्लाह. So ladies and gentlemen, alongside him, obviously keeping in consideration the SOPs for COVID, ladies and gentlemen, we might not do it, but we might do it with Bluetooth. Okay. So alongside Mr. Irshad Ahmed Cheema Sahab, ladies and gentlemen, we're lucky that we've actually been joined by Vice Chairman Pakistan Overseas Forum. He happens to be Ghulam Mustafa Diwan Sahab. Hello sir, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, good morning. Glad to be here.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thanks for
I'm loving the American accent early in the morning. It's literally very lovely to kind of hear you two as well. But sir, let's get the conversation started.
Right.
Is it a good news or a bad news for overseas Pakistanis that they will have a right to vote?
No, alhamdulillah, it's always, this is a fresh air. And I think the dream our Prime Minister started, he always shared our opinion, and we always, and I think this is the best recognition you can have, you can ask for in a lifetime. I never thought I'm going to see this day in my lifetime.
Really?
But alhamdulillah, I think this Prime Minister, whenever we talk to him, he always facilitated us. He said, those 90 million plus. I would say over 90 million, but let's keep it the conservative numbers. but I think those people are your people, you know.
Yeah.
But there is a misconception, you know, people says overseas Pakistani, when they leave Pakistan, they forget about it, you know, but we are not. Our roots are still here, and we want to serve. We want to come back, and we want to contribute whatever the expertise we have, and in the business, in IT, in any field, you know, we can, in medicine, in anything we can do.
But sir, you know, that opportunity was always there. You know, if you want to contribute, maybe in any sector, in any field as well, the window of opportunity was always open. Why do you think that there was a need for you to vote first and then contribute towards your country's economic prosperity, or maybe any field, as you mentioned?
No, it's a good question. But the thing is, you
That's
know,
what I do.
You know, exactly. You know, but like, you know, every country have different dynamics, you know. So in political, if you are not politically engaged, you know, so if you are not contributing in a mainstream politics, you can do whatever you want, you know. I mean, we left for a purpose from otherwise if we have a same opportunity in Pakistan, you know, I was 19 years old when I left this country. So, you know, I had a big dream, you know, I tried to explore, but, you know, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had a different, you know, opportunities for me. So, you know, I landed in.
So you were looking forward to a Pakistani dream, but you ended up with an American dream as
You
well.
know,
Wow.
I mean, of course, you know, that time it was a college time, you know, so it was a
Exactly.
different ambitions, you know,
Mashallah.
but definitely we went there and we worked hard. We worked from ordinary job to, you know, working in McDonald's and all those, you know, we went through. So we are not a parachuter. We went through all those steps, you know, so, and now we call ourselves, we are prominent, we are successful. So we want to, whatever we contribute, but we are looking at one window operation where we don't have to, those bureaucratic walls between us. So we can
Hindrances,
go.
challenges,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. So we can go back to our roots, our mahallas, our, you know, where we used to live, and, you know, we are contributing silently, or, you know, in a different forms still, you know. So I'm from Gujranwala, so Sialkot, so that is my area, and Mandi Bahauddin, and we are contributing. We are not just overseas Pakistani. We are feeding a lot of different families. A lot of people don't know, you know. So we want to get the message across. Overseas Pakistanis are your people, your sons, your daughters, your you know, people. So they want to come back, and they want to come back. They should have my kids have some relationship. They want to have some. So we need to leave a world, you know, where we can leave something legacy, so they can come and, you know, say, this is my homeland. My dad was born here.
Mera Pakistan.
Mera Pakistan, you know. And
So sweet.
yeah, and the Prime Minister Imran Khan, Naya Pakistan, I think this is the perfect beginning. The message is very clear with the overseas Pakistani, and alhamdulillah, you know, Pakistani are standing behind this government, this Prime Minister, and the people of Pakistan. That's our message.
Wonderful, sir. You know, very reassuring.
Definitely, and I want to say actually most welcome and always welcome to your kids or anyone living outside Pakistan who happens to be a Pakistani, because of course the doors are always open.
Yeah.
But now just to clarify the situation again, we're really happy first of all to re-establish or reiterate that overseas Pakistanis now have a
And why
voting
not?
right.
They're a part of us.
I mean, of course. And imagine even the people living in Pakistan with a NICOP, in all honesty, they did have some sort of issues before, you know, the previous elections as well. So I'm happy for them. But now, sir, a very common sentiment is, and I think I'm going to speak on behalf of a huge population, a chunk of population in Pakistan, that if you being, and please don't take me wrong, if an overseas Pakistani cannot choose to live in Pakistan, why do you need a right to vote? I want you to explain in a way so that people know it's all right to have the right to vote,
Yes,
first of all.
yes.
Secondly, so sorry, but it's a multi-tiered question. Now, both of you, mashallah, happen to be in prominent positions in, you know, outside Pakistan as well. And we understand how international relations or international politics works. Lobbies or lobbying is a system as well. Do you think international lobbying is going to affect the vote bank of overseas Pakistanis in Pakistan? Does it make sense?
Is there any lobbying? I think
It always
Well,
is. I mean,
always lobbying
course.
exists, and governments, you know,
diplomacy.
they are always supported by lobbies.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And key role, I mean, overseas Pakistanis, they will make a key role in future politics. Why? We always have a vote to right.
Yes, yes.
And what was the issue that we live in abroad, we live in overseas, we cannot come to vote in general elections BD elections, what this vote right will give us opportunity to directly have
A say in it.
say in it.
Yes.
And then what we do, we will choose right peoples. Now there is a monopoly. What we do is if we don't come and don't vote,
Yeah.
then there is a certain group of peoples.
True.
They use their own agendas and monopolies,
Exactly.
and then they come into,
Of
you know,
And lobbies
keyboard.
as well.
Yes,
I mean,
lobbies
it's
as well.
politics,
Yeah.
why not?
So what it will give us opportunities, it will give us opportunity to choose right people. Now we will see who do good for our country,
Yeah.
who is patriot to our country, what was their past, what is their present. So that will give us a big opportunity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, right.
And I want to jump in, so there is a lot of politicians, they kind of, they have some fears. Those people will be, they are educated, they are well connected, and, so they will have some political, difficulties,
Exactly. Yeah,
challenges, they feel. But we want to assure them, we are your people. We will bring a new, some kind of, honesty, control in the system, so at least we learn in those countries. We want to contribute those experience, those expertise, and politics also a business, for some certain people,
course.
but we want to take that business away from them. We want to bring honesty, openness, and work for the people, that's
And sir,
democracy.
we are certainly open to that as well. But there's an important point which, earlier you were actually talking about, that you actually happen to, kind of belong from Mandi Bahauddin or JLM or elsewhere as well. Now, talking about the Pakistani diaspora, abroad, majority of the people actually come from, Mandi Bahauddin, maybe JLM, majority parts of Punjab as well.
Gujranwala,
And then-
Sialkot,
Yeah,
Punjab.
Gujranwala, Sialkot, and all of
Yes.
these
Yes.
places, which is wonderful. But what I'm about to kind of say is something which is amazing, and that is that all the people over there, it's a normal norm. They have a Dara system over there, and everybody
Yes.
Right.
is very political.
Yes. Right.
So for all of those families you just mentioned that, alhamdulillah, you've been feeding for all of those years while you went abroad, because it was your responsibility, you were the elderly of the house as well.
Right.
They're so political. Don't you think that they can be your voice as well? For all of those people who live over here, who represent you, you represent them. Don't you think, because they're so well knit within the political system, and that too on a very domestic level as well, don't you think that they can be the voice of all of those people living abroad?
It's opinion, it's a debate, so we have to be fair and be open, so,
I'm not referring that
Yes.
God forbid, that you might not need to have the right to vote. I mean, I'm always
We're
open for
putting
it.
out all
Obviously,
perspectives.
you guys will bring in newer ideas, newer technologies, and it has been because of you that our economy is very strengthened as well. $29.4 billion in foreign remittances just this year. But it's just, why not? What if?
You are right. I will say there are some people, especially in current government, there are youth,
Yeah,
and we always support a new youth, educated people.
exactly.
What it is, before we used to have a traditional system, which we call as a, landlord mafia and different, they come and they try to rule, but now there will be a change.
True.
And there is
And
a
we've
change.
witnessed that change.
There is a change. I will say there is a change in this government. We appreciate Imran Khan. We appreciate PTI. They bring a change, positive change in the country.
True.
Though we are going through different hurdles, but they will be solved. It takes time. There is no magic. We live in a country.
We Pakistanis, we want magic.
Yes, there is no magic. Look, USA, it takes hundred of years. What we are seeing right now, it took them hundred of years to get
Yeah.
established.
So,
Right. Sorry, gentlemen, of course I have to sort of intervene over here, and you spoke about change, and we are going to see another change, other than the fact that overseas Pakistanis will be able to vote. Just yesterday, a cabinet meeting sort of declared that they are going to make sure for the next 23 elections, right?
Right.
That EVM, electronic voting machines, are going to be in place for anyone and everyone wanting to vote inside and outside
Right.
Pakistan.
Right.
Again. Now, EVM itself is surrounded by so many question marks. People have literally no faith in that system. Not that it already exists or not that we have experienced it, but just the thought of it is actually, sort of baffling people's minds, if it's going to be true, if it's going to be okay. What do you think about it? Do you think it will be reinstated though?
No, absolutely. Yeah, yesterday, we went to Election Commission,
Okay.
and we seen those first-hand, excuse me. So,
It's all right.
excuse me.
No problem.
So we seen those first-hand experience. We met the Secretary of Election Commission, and he was, thorough gentleman. He explained what the difficulties and the culture we want to change. And they did already a pilot program, with the, not just because it's in the news right now, but this plan has been working long time, So, there is a only issue they had is the cyber security, So we too.
That's a big issue.
Yeah, but look, we want to assure them. I mean, we have the expertise. Number two, all your banks are working. You have ATMs all over the, if there is no better asset than the money, you working. So voting is not going to happen every day. It's going to be 5 years, 3 years, 4 years. So, all those countries, we gave them a list of the countries, where the EVM already exists and working. And we are living in Western countries, and we go there just like a phone, touch, click, and done in 3 minutes, you out of it,
Yeah.
So, if they can do it, we can do it, because we, what we do, a brain drain, So we want to, the other things, we want to bring those expertise to Pakistan, back to, our to motherland, Instead, I'll be working for IBM and other countries somewhere else. Why cannot I go and come back and work here?
Exactly. So, which is why now I want to talk about 2 points which actually popped up in my head, and so let's take them step by step. Number one, what happens is, because since you spoke about Mandi Bahauddin, I go there, I visit a lot as well, so I know the entire culture within Punjab as well. I'm not entitled to it, but yes, obviously, since I've observed quite a lot. Now, what I see is majority of the people live abroad. May it be Europe, may it be UK, may it be USA, may it be Canada, may it be Netherlands for that matter as well.
Right.
Now, what happens is that, that every Pakistani who actually goes from here goes empty pocket, and he's going to call back home after 3 years' time, 4 years' time. I have 2 petrol pumps, I have this, and alhamdulillah, they're always successful,
Right.
which is great. Now, what is that one major point which in your own head, because you said yourself that when you were 19 years old, you went over there, you had to work for McDonald's and all of that. Right. What is so enabling over there, which we're still missing out on, number one, because, this is the kind of advice we want from you people.
Right.
This is where you need to contribute. And number two is, now imagine that, sir, if we still have to go to that particular place to vote, what's the point of having electronic voting machines? Let's just do it over a click on our phones. Let's do it ourselves. Why do we still have to go? Why do we have to instill a technology where we still actually have to go to, I mean, for example, if my vote is in Pindi, I'll still have to wake up, go to Pindi to just do that one click.
Right.
If you're using technology, let's use it in a wiser way.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's a debate. So what we want,
everything is a debate. I want
so
solutions.
we want the fairness, openness, So the question is exactly, I rephrase that question, So if we are successful there, why we are not successful here? So the missing ingredients is openness. Equality,
Learning.
and learning, so those things, so, if I'm a Pakistani American, I have the same rights any other Joe or David and anybody has, so I can do what he wants to do, but I can't do the same thing here.
Obviously, even if you're a Chima, I'm a Rana or anything.
Yes, exactly. So, I have those hurdles, so we need to come out, we need to bring a nation together. We need to, get out of those brotherhoodism. We need to become a Pakistani first, Muslim first, and then Pakistani. And then, we have a tribes, so that's all right.
Wonderful.
But, so those things need to, we need to
liberate
nationalism
ourselves.
is first, you ask any American, British people, so they will stand behind their flag. So we need to stand behind flag, and then, we can do whatever the expertise.
And
And then
first as well.
I will add up something. You say Mandi Bahauddin, I
Yeah.
belongs to Mandi Bahauddin.
MashaAllah.
And the difference, what overseas did in Mandi Bahauddin, we provide 480 people's employment
Yeah.
in 1 year. 480 people's.
Oh, wow.
We on a microfinancing basis.
Okay, okay.
And what we are doing, we provide 150 clean water plants in Mandi Bahauddin.
Mashallah.
Only just Mandi Bahauddin, there is no village in Mandi Bahauddin don't have a clean water plant.
But thank you very much, sir, for doing that. Thank you very much for the contribution. I think the only thing left is roads, and probably we still need to kind of ask the government to do that as well, because the Nehar, ladies and gentlemen, is very dangerous, you know. So thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Wonderful to be in conversation, and I absolutely stand with you, sir, that we really come out in equality, and this is what we're going to practice in the years to come as well. And every Pakistani, may it be an American Pakistani, a UK Pakistani, or just a Pakistani, everybody's got the same rights under the Constitution. So let's be it that way as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching.
Till the next time, take care. We'll see you tomorrow exactly at the same time. Good morning.
Good morning.